Hey everybody, my name is Craig Black and I am with the Dallas College CPA Program. In this video, I'm going to go over the CPA exam eligibility requirements, and I'm going to do it specifically for those students who have a bachelor's of accounting degree. So now all students must have a bachelor's degree before entering the CPA program or before taking courses at Dallas College for CPA eligibility purposes. Um, It doesn't matter what the degree is in. It can be in nursing, it can be in finance, it can be in accounting, anything. But for my purposes here in this video, this one is going to be just for those that have the accounting degree. I've got another video for those who have a business degree that's not accounting, marketing, finance, management, any of that, or an MBA. So if you've got a business degree, it's not an accounting. I've got another video for you. And then I've got a third video for students who have a bachelor's degree in something that's not business. So it's not accounting, it's not business. You don't have an MBA. So third video for those students. Okay. So this one is just for those that have a bachelor's of accounting. And again, if you don't have your bachelor's degree, if you're a senior, you're finishing it up, you have to actually finish the degree before you can start these classes at Dallas College, and that's a TSBPA rule. You know, they actually will check the dates on the transcripts, and you must have finished your bachelor's degree, graduated, earned a degree, however you want to describe it, but you must have a bachelor's degree. Then you can start taking the classes here at Dallas College, you know, for CPA exam eligibility purposes. Okay. So first step is we want to do the application of intent. So this is super important. This is something everybody should do. And this is a form you fill out, you send it to the TSBPA, you have your transcripts sent from your school or schools, and they will review the transcripts. They will go through, look at the courses that you've completed, they will go through the eligibility requirements, and they will identify which requirements have been completed, fully completed, partially completed, or not completed at all. They will identify those in a letter and then send it to you. And then that's what we can do, or that's what we can use to choose classes at Dallas College. But we need this done first so we know how much you've gotten completed towards CPA exam eligibility. Otherwise, we just be guessing, and we might guess correctly, but then again, we might guess incorrectly. And you might end up taking extra classes, or you might end up not taking a class you need and you're all prepared to take the exam and you find out, oh, I'm short a class. Okay. Because you didn't file the application of intent. So the idea is you take the wrong classes accidentally, then you file the application of intent when you're done with all your classes, then get it reviewed. You might have guessed wrong. So let's do it now before we start taking courses. And if you have an accounting degree, this is going to be pretty straightforward. In fact, most of you are going to probably be eligible already to take the exam. You might be missing a few classes to become licensed because there's a set of requirements that allow you, you know, once you pass those or once you've satisfied those requirements, then you can take the exam. You pass the exam, then you got a few more requirements to become licensed. And I'm talking about education related requirements. You can do all those before you take the exam, which I would recommend. I mean, could you imagine you finish school, you study for the exam, you take the exam, you know, maybe it takes a year or two, whatever, and then finally you pass, and then you find out, oh, I got to take another class, so I got to go to Dallas College and take one more class. Yeah, well, let's just do the school now, get it knocked out, and then worry about the exam. Okay. And so here's a link right here to the website that talks about the application of intent and has a link to download the form. Or you can go to the TSBPA website, just go to Google, put in TSBPA, and then you'll get that. Once you get to the website, from the menu, look for exam qualification, then go to applications, then go to application of intent. Okay, so let's actually go to the website and look at the accounting requirements. So let me switch my screen. So again, you can just go to Google, put in TSBPA, and you'll see this and click on this. Now, I'm not going to click on any of these links because their website is super, super, super slow. So I've got all the websites pulled up in a tab, but that's the reason why. So if you click on it and nothing happens, just wait. I mean, it's like 1990 slow. If any of you are old enough to remember the internet from the 90s. All right, so here's the TSBPA website, and again, the exam qualifications, applications, application of intent. So that's where you would get that. But we're going to go to exam qualifications, overview, and requirements. So we're going to look at what it takes to be eligible to sit for the CPA exam. So that website looks a little bit like this here, or will look exactly like this. So FBI background check, you need to have a bachelor's degree. Again, it can be in anything. It doesn't have to be in accounting, but for our purposes, this video, I'm talking to my accounting bachelor's folks. And then you need a minimum of 120 semester hours. You should have that. I would be shocked. I don't, if you don't. I don't know of, I mean, I've never seen a bachelor's degree with fewer than 120-hour requirement. I think it's kind of the standard. In fact, some even go a little bit higher than that. So, I'd be shocked. Maybe if you have a foreign degree, but those need to be evaluated to see how they relate to the US standards. That I don't know much about. Contact the TSBPA and they can help you. They may even have something on the website about foreign degrees, but they'll point you in the right direction and show you how to get your credentials evaluated. So if you got the degree, you got the 120 hours. Now let's look at individual course requirements. You need 21 semester hours of upper level accounting courses. So, we all took principles 1 and 2 or principles of financial, principles of managerial as a sophomore. It's like been pretty standard for decades. Those don't count. Those are lower division. We're talking about the upper division courses that you would have taken as part of your major. So you need 21 hours. Good news is with an accounting bachelor's degree, you probably got those 21 hours. So you click here on accounting courses and that'll show you what you need. Now we've broken it down, or the state has broken it down into 2 categories. So you've got category 1, you need 12 hours in category 1, and then the remaining 9 hours come from category 2. And of those 12 hours in category 1, it's 3 hours in each of these 4 topics. So you need to have 3 hours in financial accounting. So, accounting degrees, most people take intermediate financial, like intermediate 1, intermediate 2, financial accounting, something like that, like your junior year. That's what we're talking about. So you need 3 hours there. Most of us have 6 and as part of our degree, maybe more. You need 3 hours of financial statement auditing. Again, I don't think I've ever seen an accounting bachelor's that did not have 3 hours of audit. So you should be good there. Taxation, again, most degrees have at least 3 hours of tax. If for some reason you don't, that's what Dallas College can help you with. We've got the tax courses that you can take. And then you need 3 hours of accounting information systems or accounting data analytics. Again, all the bachelors of accounting degrees have an AIS requirement, at least the ones I've seen. So most of us should have this 12 hours. And then 9 hours from this group, which is largely repeated, tax is down here, but it's a lot of other stuff like financial planning, financial statement analysis, forensic, government, accounting, stuff like that. So I would imagine all of your upper division accounting courses are going to count here. And you'll find that out when you submit your application of intent, again, which is the whole point of doing that. All right, let me go back to my PowerPoint slide. Okay. Now, if we've decided that we need to take an accounting course or 2 at Dallas College, what's super important is that we don't repeat courses. So we call those course equivalents. Do not take a course equivalent at Dallas, or do not take a course at Dallas College that is considered a course equivalent to something you took as part of your undergraduate degree. And so another way to say it is TSBPA will not give you credit for repeated courses. So if they determine that you took essentially the same course twice, once at one school and then again at Dallas College, you're only going to get credit for the first time you took it, not for the repeat. Okay, so that's why we need to make sure we don't repeat any courses. We don't take any Dallas College courses that are the same. So for those of you with the accounting degree, we offer all those same courses for the most part that you took. Um, okay. And then when in doubt, it's the TSBPA. It's not my opinion, it's the TSBPA. They will tell you, so you would contact them if you're not sure and ask them about two courses at the two different schools, identify them. Are these course equivalents or can I take both for credit? And they'll let you know. And in fact, when you do your application of intent, you will receive or you'll get the name and contact information of someone that's sort of your person, you know, like Tina Smith, and there's a couple of others. She's been around there for a while, but whoever you get assigned, that's the person you can ask and say, "Oh, well, listen, I was thinking about taking this course at Dallas College. Is that a problem? Do you think it's the same as maybe this course or whatever?" Um, a couple of them are going to be a little tricky, but a lot of them it's going to be really obvious. Okay, here's the trickiest. Um, Again, every bachelor's of accounting that I've seen has this 2 semester requirement of financial accounting. Oftentimes it's called intermediate one, intermediate accounting one, intermediate financial accounting one, whatever. And there's a one and a two, and you took 2 semesters. At Dallas College, we call those courses Financial Accounting Reporting Standards 1 and 2, and that's ACNT 1373 and 1374. So if you've taken your intermediate or your financial or whatever, don't take those two courses because you won't get credit for them. On the tax side, also a little bit confusing. Most degrees I've seen have a 3 semester hour tax requirement, so you take just the one tax course. Um, so And most of the time, that's like an individual tax course. And I've seen all different kinds of names like Principles of Federal Income Taxation, Fundamentals of Taxation, Federal Income Taxation, whatever, lots of different names. Those will be the same as our 1277 and our 1377. Now, just as an FYI, we currently, as of this is January of 2026, so this is the spring 2026 semester. So we offer ACNT 1277, 1278, and 1279. Those are 2 hour courses. Okay. So if you were to take all three, you would get 6 hours. We are actually replacing those beginning in the fall of 26 with 3 hour courses. So it'll just be a three and a three. So we still have 6 hours total, but it's broken into two courses instead of three. So if you've had one semester of tax, it's going to be the same as the 1277 or the 1377. Now, if you ended up taking two tax courses, a 3 hour and a 3 hour that was like principles and advanced or individual and corporate or something like that, basically, if it was like a corporate tax course, that's going to be the same as our 1278, ACNT 1278, or ACNT 2377, which again, the 1278 is only going to be offered in the spring and the summer, and then it goes away. And then in the fall of 2026, we start offering the 2377 as a 3 hour course. So you don't want to repeat those. Now, if you just had the one 3 hour semester course in individual taxation, then yeah, you could take the 2377 or you could take 1278, 1279, which would give you two and two, so 4 hours. If you just want to wait till the fall when we offer 2377, yeah, you can do that and just do it as a 3 hour. Um, the rest of the classes that are the same are going to be pretty easy to tell because of the title of the course. So I'm sure you took an audit course. So it was probably called audit or auditing or something like that. At Dallas College, it's 23 ACNT 2378 Financial Statement Auditing Theory. That is our audit course, and it is the same as any audit course, any 3 hour course. Well, not any, but for those bachelor's of accounting degrees that require one 3 hour audit course, that's what this is. So if you took your audit course, don't take this one. Counting information systems, again, pretty much the same everywhere. At Dallas College, it's ACNT 2332 is the course. Now, if you took a course called Financial Statement Analysis, we also have a course called Financial Statement Analysis. It's 23 ACNT 2336. So if you took it, you don't want to take it. Take it again with us. If you took any kind of forensic accounting course, we offer one that's ACNT 1375 called Forensic Financial Investigation. So don't take that if you've already had a forensic accounting course. And finally, if you took something in government accounting or not-for-profit accounting, fund accounting, not fun. Is there such a thing as fun accounting? No, but there is fund with a D accounting, which is a different style of accounting for governments and nonprofits and stuff. So um, if you took that, do not take our ACT 2330 because that again would be the same course. Okay, so what courses can you take? Well, if you've got a bachelor's in accounting, you will have taken quite a few of the courses that we offer. You know, you'll have had the equivalent. I think for most, you'll probably have a tax, but you won't have taken the advanced. You just had the 3 hours, so you could take the advanced. You probably had both of these as your financial or intermediate one and two. So you can take the forensic, you can take this 1393 is a tax research course. So I'm assuming most of you didn't have that. The requirements for years were that you had to have a research course. And of course, that's changing with the August 1st changes. So you'll no longer need a research course, but we do still offer it. So you can take it if you want to, especially if you have an interest in tax. Um, Again, we've got the government class. You've probably had AIS and you probably had an audit class, but we've got financial statement analysis and then finally accounting data analytics. So you do have some choices if you do need some extra accounting hours. Let's talk about the business hours and let me go back over to the website. Okay, let's go to back to the requirements here. So again, it was bachelor's, 120 hours, 21 hours of accounting, and 24 hours of business courses. And then it says you need a business communications course. So if you click on that, it'll tell you that as of October 9th, that requirement has been eliminated. So if you see any sort of reference that says you have to have business communications, that's been repealed. So you do not need a business communications, but you can take one if you want to, and we do still offer it, and we will for a short period of time. Um, okay, so if you click on business courses, that'll bring up this window over here, and you can see that it's pretty much the same kind of courses you took as an accounting major: management, marketing, econ, business law, even statistics, that kind of stuff, information technology. All right, so let me go back to my PowerPoint slides. Now, I mentioned the ethics course up here. Now, that's not required to sit for the exam, but once you pass it, you would have, or pass the CPA exam, then you would have to take this course to become licensed. So, my recommendation is if you're here at Dallas College taking a couple of courses, just take this one while you're here so that way you don't have to come back. Could you imagine? You go through all that college and taking all those classes, and then you study for the CPA exam and you take it, and then you pass, and then you find out, oh, I got to go back and take one more class, and then maybe you come to Dallas College and it's in the middle of the semester and the class is full, and then you got to wait a couple months. Like it just sounds horrible. So take it while you're here, take it before you do the exam. And I have heard, or what I am hearing is that for like the big four type jobs, those firms are requiring their new hires to take this before they start the job. So, this being a requirement after you take the exam, Big Four is saying, yeah, we want you to do all the requirements, the ones to take the exam and then the ones after the exam to be licensed. They're not messing around. They're like, you got to fulfill all those requirements. So for those folks, you definitely have to take the 1335. And then again, here's that business communications course. We do still offer it. It will count as a business course if you need one, but we'll eventually stop offering it. And again, you don't have to have business communications. So if you find yourself needing business courses because you don't have 24 hours, here's the list of what we offer. Now, having said that, you guys all have an accounting degree. You should have 24 hours of business, so this should not be a problem. But if it is, you can take any of these courses at Dallas College. Okay. Now let's talk about the new pathway to certification. Here is a link to a PDF. Let me pull that up on my computer here. Okay, so that's in this window right here. So you may have heard references to you need 150 hours, and then maybe you've heard people say, oh, you don't need 150 anymore. Okay. Yes, you do need 150 hours as of today, which today for me is January of 2026. Um, they're not eliminating that requirement. Instead, they're adding an alternative pathway. Okay, so if you were to contact the TSBPA and you were to say something like, "Oh, I know I don't have to do 150 anymore," that you got rid of that rule, they would correct you. They would say, "No, no, it's not that we got rid of that rule, it's that we added an alternative pathway." So you have two options. Okay. So option one, as it exists today, is yes, you do need 150 hours. They're adding the alternative pathway, which does not require 150 hours. It only requires 120. So let's take a look at that. So the current pathway A is bachelor's degree, 150 hours, okay, and 1 year work experience. So usually to get that 150, at least years ago, students um, had to get a master's. I remember when I was an undergrad, this was, a million years ago, everybody was mentioning, oh, once you graduate, immediately take the CPA exam so you get locked into the current rules, which at that time did not have the 150 requirement. And then in a year, the 150 is coming. I went to law school after my undergrad, so that's another 90 hours. So I wasn't really worried about an extra 30 hours. So that's how I did it. But a lot of students are like, once they pass that 150 hour rule, which has been around for decades, once they passed it, yeah, most everybody had to do a master's. Then we came up with the community college program here at Dallas College. So now you can actually take the courses here. But having said all that, now that you guys got your history lesson, they're adding this alternative pathway, which I suspect most students will opt in for that. So if you already have a master's, then you can do pathway A if you so choose. But for the rest of us, we're going to be over here doing pathway B. So pathway B is you need a bachelor's degree, you need 120 semester hours, and then the 2 years work experience. So they basically doubled the work experience, whatever. Um, I say whatever because I assume you guys weren't planning on working a year, becoming a CPA, and then you know, doing something different. I assume you're going to be doing this for many years. Okay, it's effective August 1st, 2026. That's when the new one comes in. So if you submit your application of intent before that, they're going to put you on to the current rules. But if you want to go with the new rules, there's a form you can fill out where you opt into that. So don't worry, you're not stuck. Again, you know, every once in a while I get an objection to filling out the application of intent. They want to wait, and it's like, don't wait. You need to do it now so we know what we're dealing with. And if your objection is, oh, I want to do the new rules, yeah, do it now and then do this form to opt into the new rules. Okay. So, bachelor's degree, 120 hours, 24 hours of accounting. Well, it was 21, right? Remember at the beginning of the video? Now it's 24. So, what do we do? If you don't have 24, like if you got 21 through your bachelor's degree, not a problem. Just take another course here at Dallas College. Anything on that list, you could take government accounting, you could take forensic, financial statement analysis, you can take my advanced tax course. If you haven't, if you only did 3 hours of tax, you could take tax research. You have lots of options here. Okay, so you take one of those that's not a repeat, that'll get you to 24. And then the business course requirement dropped from 24 down to 21. Again, I think we're all good on that. I think we're all got the 21. And then it references the ethics course and it says 3 semester hour ethics course. You don't have to take it. You can take it at any time, right? But it must be completed prior to CPA certification. So again, I'm going to highly recommend that you take it now while you're taking whatever courses you need. Don't wait till after you've passed the exam. All right, so that's what you need to be eligible to sit under these new rules. Okay, so it went basically from 21 hours of accounting to 24 hours. Everything else is the same, or you guys should be good. You pass the CPA exam, you want to get licensed. Okay, what's changed? Under this pathway, bachelor's degree, 120 hours, 27 hours of accounting. It's not that you need an additional 27. That would be awful. No, it means you need a total of. So you only needed 24 to sit for the exam. Now you need 27 to be licensed. So if your undergraduate degree was 21 hours of accounting, take another course, that'll get you eligible to sit, and then take a second course, that'll get you eligible to be licensed. That'll get you to 27 hours. And again, just go back to the earlier slide and it'll show you which, give you some of the options. Again, you could take the advanced tax if you don't have 6 hours of tax, tax research, government, um, the forensic, financial statement analysis, or accounting data analytics. 24 hours of business, including the 3 semester hours of ethics. So again, that's the 21 of business plus the ethics. You guys should have your 21 hours of business, no problem. Ethics, you can take with us, ACNT 1335, and then the work requirement. And down here, it talks about the form. If you've already filed your application of intent and you want to switch over to the newer rules, there's how you do it. Okay, so let me go back, and I just want to go back to the application of intent. This is the most important part, so I can't stress this enough. Do this now, do this as the first step, and then you have your answer. You'll know exactly what counts, you know exactly what doesn't count, you'll know what requirements you need to still satisfy. But just remember, though, they're looking at it from a eligible to take the exam standpoint. Okay. So if you have the 21 hours, they may come back and say, you're ready to go take the exam. But you're going to actually, if you're going to use the new rules, you need 27 hours. In other words, the rules that only require 120 hours. If you're going to get licensed under those, you're going to need 27 total hours of accounting. So if you only have 21, you can take 6 now. And then you'll also need that ethics course. So you can take that now. So you might, I think a lot of you are probably going to need 3 classes, um, to get you to where you are eligible to become a CPA, not just take the exam. All right, so that's all I have for you guys. So if you have any questions at all, just send me an email.